So here we have our ProCollect server, and we log on to the website of the ProCollect server. And so the first screen that we will see is the screen. So the first screen that we'll see is the results that were recently produced. So you see here at the bottom that we have quite some pages. Here you can select how many records you're seeing for each page, so that all depends on your screen size. Here you have the capability to export it to certain formats, where I think Excel here in the middle is the most interesting one. Here you have the possibility to filter on it. So let's say I want to see one of that date, then I will only get this particular record if there's only one tiny come in on one date. If you take it away, you get all the results again. You can filter on particular stations. So here I have a couple of stations. If I select one of those, then I will only get results from that particular station. Yeah. So that's the first way to approach the data. Then you have the possibility to look at the raw data. So then it will open up an XML document and you can consult that. That is typically not so interesting for manufacturing people. So then you just open the report and so then you get almost the exact same report that you normally get on a ProTide or ProTrack application. In this case, it was no good, so you get all the information. The next approach that you have is, instead of looking at the data from that side, is just to select the details. So what happens then? So I selected the date range. So now I select the ProTide station. I want to have all the rundowns, and I'm going to select all the stations I have. So in that way, I will get all the data that's available for all those stations. Of course, you could select it and only do it for one particular station, depending on what you need. So here you see now that we have all the results. So it's quite a lengthy document. You see it's like a lot of records. So what I can do now is hit here the Excel button, and at that stage he will export all the data, including all the ProGuidance IDs, all the P sets that are being used, and also including all the torque values, and that you will get available in a Excel sheet. Okay, so the other menus are more to set up the system. So in this case, I can see which kind of stations are being active. I can see the number of good and no goods, and so on. You can define different users that can use the application and have certain rights. So if I now look at the users, I just have an administrator, but you can add multiple ones. And then you have the reference towards the reports. So here in this case, I have a ProTide report being configured and a ProTrack report being configured. So in that way, those reports will be used to visualize the information. So these reports can be customized like any other report we are using within ProSuite. So this is the layout as it would look like. Okay. Here I have the other one. So you see this one looks very similar to what you have inside ProTide. Okay, so next thing I will show is the ProCollect application. So the ProCollect application is the service that is running in the background and does what needs to be happening. So here you're going to make the configuration, meaning you're going to set it up, how it's going to collect all this data, meaning how big is the interval to fetch all the stations, how many orders he can collect in one shot, and then the SQL database connection and so on. And here at the last line we have a very important one, that's to write the flat data. So if flat data is on, that means that we will have readable, or let's say easy readable data inside the SQL database, so that external applications from the customer can come and fetch the information. Here you have another button for the licensing, so that's to check your license, insert your license keys and so on. Here we can open up the service because this application is being used to deploy the service inside the Windows server. So, and in this way you can also uninstall it if you want. So if I click on this, it will just open the Windows service application, and if I go here to ProCollect service, so this one you see it's running. Yeah. So we also open up here our SQL environment. So I just want to show you now that this the data is available for external applications, and in a very simple way, because the only thing that needs to be done is go to the database that contains all the data, check, go to the tables. There you will have all the information. So here you have the table with the results that is going to contain all the data. So here you have the ID, you have the serial number, station ID, status, true or false, when it was collected, when it was finished, and so on. So in this way, here you have the content stored, but in a compacted way. So it's not encrypted, but it's just compressed. However, that's not really readable, and then even if you could read it, then you have to deserialize the XML. So in that way, we have stored all the different tasks here in different tables. So in this way, if you want to have the rundowns of a ProSuite application, you would just open up this one, get the data, and in that way you get the full overview. So you get the angle, you get the torque value, you get the timestamp, you get the P set that was being used, you get the serial number, and so on, and you even know which bolt number it is. So in that way, you have all the data that you really need. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's about it. So thank you very much for watching the video.